Coming up, we have crews on the scene in Venice where 4 bike riders were hit by a vehicle, sending all 4 people to the hospital. Plus, the first funerals are getting underway following a synagogue massacre as President Trump heads to Pittsburgh today. And Sarasota police helping secure local synagogues, mosques, and other places of worship following a deadly shooting in Pittsburgh. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with breaking news out of Venice this morning where 4 bicycle riders were hit by a car. It happened after 10 o'clock this morning at the intersection of Center Road and Rockley Boulevard. ABC7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live from the scene with the latest today. Rebecca?
Scott, well, officials tell us it's still too early in the investigation to know exactly what happened here, but they have been here since the initial call came in at 8:30 this morning, and it really is a hard scene to look at. All 4 bikes are scattered across Center Road in pieces, and the Florida Highway Patrol tells us they do know that the bicyclists were riding in the outer bike lane, but were switching over to the left lane when they were hit. And the driver of that car was a 92-year-old woman from Venice. It is not illegal to ride bikes in the road even when there are sidewalks, so the fault of this accident is still being determined by investigators. 3 of the bicyclists were airlifted and 1 was taken by ambulance, but they are all in critical condition at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Those are really all the details that we have at this moment, but as soon as we learn any new information, we'll continue updating you on air and online. Live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC7, your Suncoast News. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. The Florida Highway Patrol also investigating a separate fatal crash in Venice early this morning. Troopers say a 30-year-old man was heading north on Venice East Boulevard around 3:15 this morning. When he got near Woodrose Way, troopers say he drove off the road and hit 2 wooden posts. He then drove his pickup back onto the median and hit some trees, causing the truck to flip onto its side and killing the driver. Troopers are still trying to notify the man's family and have not released his name. He was not wearing a seatbelt. 1 person is charged with DUI manslaughter following a fatal crash in Mayaca City. This crash happened before midnight at Vernon Bethany Road and State Road 64 in Manatee County. Troopers say the driver of a Mitsubishi was heading east on 64 when they lost control on a curve and crossed the center line. The car hit a pickup truck head on, the impact causing that truck to overturn. The man driving the truck was killed. The Mitsubishi's driver is now charged with DUI manslaughter. Remember to get the latest breaking news from around the world and here on the Suncoast, as well as your first alert weather forecast. You can download our app, go to your app store and look for WWSB or My Suncoast. Let's get a check of our weather now with meteorologist John Scalzi on this Tuesday. A great start to the day.
Yeah, not too bad. We had a little patchy fog around this morning. Visibility is reduced about a half mile down around Punta Gorda. But just kind of an indication of the little extra moisture that's starting to creep back in. Yeah, you can feel it as you walk outside. We'll be seeing more of that with time as we head into the next several days. A few fair weather clouds will begin to build as well. Sarasota Bay webcam put into motion, though, shows pretty nice conditions over the sky currently, although today we have a few clouds. Yesterday we had none, so it's a little bit of a difference. Satellite view shows no large-scale issues across the peninsula at this hour. I don't really expect to see a whole lot today. Certainly no rain chance today. Radar absolutely quiet across the peninsula, and that's the way it's going to be, I think, throughout the afternoon today. Now, we are going to work in a rain chance a little bit later on this week, but just not this afternoon. We'll look for a temperature that's a little bit warmer than it was yesterday, maybe by a degree or 2. That's about it. We'll go with about 83 for a daytime, well, for a temperature at 3 p.m. Daytime high will probably be 84, 85, somewhere in there. Then as we head into the evening hours, temperatures will fall off pretty quickly, though not as quickly as they did yesterday, simply because the air's got a little bit more moisture to retain the heat. As we head into the next several days, we do have some changes down the road, which we will talk about in just a few minutes, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. As friends and family enter into a time of mourning, laying the first of Saturday's shooting victims to rest, President Trump will be visiting Pittsburgh this afternoon to pay his respects. Omar Jimenez is there, where mixed emotions surround the president's visit.
President Trump is set to visit here in Pittsburgh today, just 3 days after the horrific shooting inside the synagogue behind me. But there are questions about who exactly he will be visiting with. Both the Pittsburgh County executive and the Pittsburgh mayor saying they will not be meeting with him, saying something to the effect of they will be focusing on family and community because, of course, today begins the first of what will eventually be 11 funerals.
The President of the United States is always welcome.
President Trump is set to visit Squirrel Hill Tuesday, the neighborhood in Pittsburgh where the Tree of Life synagogue sits, now the scene of the deadliest attack on Jews in American history. 11 people gone. The first 3 funeral services will also be held Tuesday. Some are taking a more hospitable tone to the president's visit.
I'm a citizen, he's my president, he's certainly welcome.
Others in the close-knit community feel that perhaps it's too soon.
We did try to get the message out to the White House that our priority tomorrow is the first funeral.
Presidential visits to communities following tragedies are nothing new. Presidents often thrust themselves into the role of consoler-in-chief during the worst of times. Still, some in the community say they need more time.
Any president that would come in, any president would be a distraction. Focus has to be on the victims and has to be on comforting the family and also the city. The city needs time to grieve. So please, if you're listening, wait till next week.
And today, the day of funerals really begins with Dr. Jerry Rabinowitz at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. As for the president, he is scheduled to arrive here in Pittsburgh around 3:45 Eastern Time, and First Lady Melania Trump is expected to be with him, along with Jared Kushner and Ivanka as well. And per the White House schedule, they are expected to be back in Washington, D.C. by 7:30. Reporting from Pittsburgh, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Suncoast churches, synagogues, mosques, and other places of worship are all planning for the unthinkable after that Pittsburgh shooting. Sarasota police helping to secure and protect these local congregations. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us now with that story. Jess?
Scott, since that tragedy in Pittsburgh, Sarasota police has heightened security at all places of worship in the city. And SPD's partners from the sheriff's office to the FBI are all working around the clock to make sure all of these religious institutions are safe. Unfortunately, this is something both SPD and the local places of worship have had to think about before. After the deadly church shooting in Charleston, South Carolina back in 2015, Sarasota police had met with all local clergy at every place of worship in the city to make sure there was an open line of communication there. The department also made sure each place had a worst-case scenario plan in place and created a handbook of security measures. That's all being used still today. Every time there's services in our community, Sarasota police are patrolling those areas, and at special events, there are extra officers on duty monitoring. Officers now meet quarterly with the clergy to keep updating and improving these safety plans.
Every police officer that works in the city of Sarasota is familiar with the areas that they work in, but the parishioners and the worshipers that are in their own house of worship really know what is going on better than any of us. So as the chief always says, you know, if you see something out of line or you see something that just makes you feel weird, call us and let us come handle it.
Sarasota police also provided security for last night's vigil that was held at the Sarasota Fairgrounds to honor the victims in Pittsburgh. They say everything did go smoothly and they did not have any security issues. Scott.
Jess, thank you. Around 2,000 people gathered at the fairgrounds last night for that vigil to remember the 11 victims of the Pittsburgh shooting. The Jewish Federation of Sarasota Manatee moved the event to the fairgrounds to accommodate the large crowd. People showed up from different faiths and different backgrounds. The message, solidarity.
I think it's important for not only the Jewish community to come together, but the entire community to come together. It's time for us to heal, and this is going to take some time. I think tonight is the first step to do that.
When you come to these kinds of events, I feel very proud to be Jewish and very proud to be part of a community that will come together in mere days of a horrible tragedy, but try to be positive and try to heal all together.
Candles were also lit for each of the 11 lives lost. Tonight, a church in Venice is planning to hold a similar community vigil. The Venice Interfaith Community Association hosting the event in support of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. It will be held at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Venice on Pie Brook Road from 7 to 8 p.m. and all are welcome. New at noon, a Northport shopping plaza is getting a facelift. Crews are currently making improvements to the Northport Center on Tamiami Trail on the US 41 corridor. The facade is being updated thanks to a housing and urban development grant. Despite the construction, all the stores in that plaza are still open. The work is scheduled to be complete by the end of the year. Still to come in your Suncoast News, and a medical first. 2 women have carried the same baby thanks to a breakthrough method of in vitro fertilization. And why doctors from the Cleveland Clinic are saying the polio-like illness cases are continuing to surface.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hut hut! It's the Gettle Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gettle dealership. Buy with 0 down, make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gettle location near you or visit Gettle.com. Gettle's got it.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, indeed. Dew points are starting to climb. We're at 66 degrees now. We're in the 50s yesterday. So we've taken a jump in that dew point value. Dew points will tend, when they rise like that, they tend to keep the nighttime temperatures a little bit warmer, and they also allow for a slower warm up during the day and a slower cool down as we head into the evening. So we're at 79 degrees right now. We'll probably make it up to about 84 for a daytime high, something like that. A lot of sunshine out there right now. East wind comes in at about 9. We'll see that east wind, I think, with time start to shift a little bit, turning more toward the southeast as we head into the next 24 hours or so. 83 we'll go with at about 3 p.m. Plenty of sunshine around. Then as we head into the evening time frame, as I mentioned, we'll start to taper our temperatures off, obviously, as the sun begins to set, but a little more slowly, I think, as the moisture tends to hang on to the heat a little bit longer. Across the eastern seaboard, smooth sailing. Yesterday, we had all the rain showers all up and down the East Coast from New York City, really from the Delmarva all the way up into down East Maine. Not so today. That low pressure area has pulled away and across the entire United States. It's hard to find much in the way of inclement weather currently, certainly not in the state of Florida. Everything's very quiet here with still a big ridge of high pressure sitting over us and bringing us some very quiet, tranquil conditions for at least a couple more days. Now, you will notice for the next several days a slow but steady increase in moisture, and that will lead to a little bit more of a humid feeling to the afternoon air, I think. And the reason for that is this high pressure ridge is going to be nudged out into the Atlantic by an approaching trough of low pressure. As it moves out into the Atlantic, you'll watch the winds underneath of it start to shift a little bit. They'll shift first to the east and then a little bit more to the southeast. And eventually, I think as we head into Thursday, you'll even see those winds shifting in off Gulf waters coming in out of the southwest. That'll really pump the moisture and spike the moisture, in fact, on Thursday. Sunny skies today, higher humidity a little bit, but by Thursday, the humidity really spikes, setting the stage for those Friday rains as that frontal boundary sits on our doorstep. There could be some severe weather in parts of the northern Gulf Coast, Louisiana, tomorrow and into Thursday as well. As that front approaches us, don't really expect to see severe weather, but we could see some thunderstorms as well. Of course, we're fine-tuning that severe weather forecast. Still a little early on in the game to be predicting severe weather that far down the road. We watch for the winds out of the east or northeast to start switching around to a more southeasterly direction tomorrow, and then eventually, as I mentioned, onshore as we head into Thursday night and Friday. The futurecast doesn't show much in the way of any kind of large-scale showers for us for the next several days, but eventually, as we head into Thursday, we'll start to see that southeasterly wind bring a few showers up from the south, and we'll start to factor in a slight chance of a shower or two. So the forecast looks like this today. North wind turning to the northeast at 5 to 10, 2-foot seas, light chop. Pretty nice day for boating, actually. And the forecast for the 7 days ahead looks pretty good today. 84, 64 tonight. Sunny skies all the time, so it looks pretty good. As far as Halloween goes, I think it'll be fairly decent, actually. We'll probably have a nighttime temperature for trick-or-treaters around 80 to 75, depending on whether they go out early or go out late. And it'll be rain-free. The moon won't rise until late, though, so expect kind of a dark evening. And then as we head into the next several days, we'll start to factor in that chance of rain. Friday, about a 20% chance as the front comes through. But the front will clear us out and draw in some slightly less humid air. And don't forget, 2 a.m. on Sunday, those clocks go back an hour. Scott?
John, thank you. In HealthSmart, 2 Texas mothers each carried their miracle baby because of a medical advance that allowed them to do what they thought was otherwise impossible. Paula Ferris has more on this medical breakthrough.
He's our miracle baby.
Bliss and Ashley Coulter are the proud parents of a baby boy named Stetson, but they got there in an unusual way.
I always wanted to have a child. I wanted to be pregnant for so long and so bad.
The mothers from Mountain Springs, Texas, both wanted to be part of the birth process.
We felt like, there has to be a way.
So they turned to fertility specialist Dr. Kathy Duty, who made their dream come true using pioneering technology called reciprocal effortless IVF, allowing both women to carry the same baby.
I think it opens up, new avenues, new choices for same-sex couples.
The process starts like traditional IVF.
Bliss went through the stimulation of her ovaries and the egg harvest.
Next, Bliss's eggs were combined with donor sperm, but then they were transferred into a device called an InvoCell, which was placed in Bliss's body for 5 days for fertilization. The resulting embryos were then removed and frozen until Ashley's body, thanks to hormone injections, was ready to carry the baby.
That made it really special for the both of us that we both were involved. We're very, very grateful for him.
Yes. Paula Ferris, ABC News, New York.
Recent cases of a polio-like illness called acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM, have now been reported in 24 states across the U.S. The CDC reporting the number of confirmed cases has now reached 72, while 191 cases are under investigation. A pediatric infectious disease expert at Cleveland Clinic Children's says AFM tends to be more common during the fall.
There's always a few cases of AFM that happen pretty much every year, but we usually see the most cases in the fall months, usually around September, August, September, October. That seems to be the month.
Doctors say although AFM is commonly referred to as a polio-like illness, it is not polio, it just has similar symptoms. Time for lunch, so let's get over to the kitchen and say hello to ABC7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher and see what she's fixing for us today. Hi, Judy.
Hi there, Scott. Well, I decided to get some really nice thick-cut bone-in pork chops
And I'm going to do them in a curry style. So we're going to make our own seasoning blend, and I encourage you to get some mason jars because you want to triple the batch, and that way you have it, you can just label it as a special seasoning for the next time when you make the recipe. So we're going to combine that with some roasted sweet potato planks, seasoned the same way as the pork chops. Now, the thing you can do for 24 hours is you can brine the pork chops. So what I do is I use some apple cider, I cook it down a little bit with about ½ cup of kosher salt. Then I add ice cubes and I add some Blue Moon pumpkin ale, seasonal flavor. It's going to really enhance the moisture. And then you're going to take them out of the brine, rinse them off, and pat them very dry. Okay, then we're going to be ready to season them. Toss it all together, some pomegranates on top. It's going to be a delicious meal. I'll be back in a few minutes to get started.
Conquer your next adventure. Get a new Jeep at a great price during Jeep Adventure Days at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee, for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota today.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
The National Weather Service confirming a tornado touchdown in Marion County, Oregon yesterday afternoon. Marion County is south of Portland. Videos shot by residents in that area show a fall cloud forming right behind a house. Another video shows those clouds gaining speed in the distance. Volunteer firefighters captured the beginning of the storm with clouds looming over a rainbow.
I've never seen anything like it before. The clouds were just swirling so fast and very, very black clouds.
The thing that was going through my mind was I hope everyone's going to be okay, and so we decided to go ahead and jump in the engine and come out and look out this way to make sure everything was okay.
This was the second tornado in 2 days to touch down in the Portland metro area. The first hit in North Portland on Sunday, causing only minor damage. A strong but deep earthquake struck New Zealand's North Island yesterday afternoon, causing Parliament to be briefly suspended as a precaution. There were no immediate reports of major damage or injuries, and authorities said there was no risk of a tsunami. The magnitude 6.1 quake was centered about 50 miles east of the town of New Plymouth. Thousands of people across the country felt that quake. It was an unusual night for police and wildlife experts in California. That's because they had to remove a mountain lion from a parking lot last night. The sheriff's office used a drone with thermal imaging to track the big cat's movements. Police say 4 doses were used to tranquilize the puma. The big cat, dubbed the Pleasanton Puma, appeared to be a 9 to 12-month-old male. The mountain lion is about 75 to 80 pounds and appears to be healthy, which means it can be re-released into the wild. An Ohio woman has created a monstrous pumpkin for her front porch in the likeness of rapper Kanye West. Jeanette Paris unveiled the pumpkin creation every year, and this one weighs in at a whopping 315 pounds. Says the most difficult feature to make for this year's pumpkin was the gigantic red "Make Pumpkins Great Again" hat. Paris has been doing her pumpkin creations for the past 30 years, and as you can imagine, they get a lot of attention. All right, back to the kitchen now and check in again with Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Okay, Scott, we're going to get ready to make our blend. So I have some garlic salt, and I'm using a Thai coconut seasoning from the Spice and Tea Exchange. I'm going to do both regular mild curry and a Malaysian ginger curry, and then brown sugar. And brown sugar is going to bring out that caramelization, which is what we really want. So what we're going to do is we're going to take just a little bit of olive oil and kind of make this into a paste. And then we're going to toss it on the pork chops, but also on the sweet potatoes. So you're going to peel the sweet potatoes, although to be really honest, at home I often just go with it and leave the skins on. Just scrub them really well because they tend to hold on to more dirt, but scrub them really well with your veggie brush and you just have that added nutrient. Olive oil, our mixed blend with the Moroccan seasoning and the curry, that's going to go in a 450-degree oven. Now we have our griddle pan heating up, and we're going to take these beautiful big bone-in pork chops that I picked up at Whole Foods this morning, so they are just ready to go. I have a little olive oil on the pork chops, and I'm going to rub this in. Remember, they were brined with some apple cider, kosher salt. Then you cool down that brine really well with ice, so that ice melts into it, and then 1 bottle of like a pumpkin ale. It's just fantastic. So also let the pork chops sit out on the counter for 20 minutes just to get that cold temperature from the refrigerator off. That's going to really make a big difference. So the pork chops, oh, I have to interrupt myself. The aroma is amazing just now hitting it with the garlic and all these seasonings. The pork chops are going to take about 7 to 8 minutes per side in your griddle pan. You can definitely do this out on your charcoal grill or electric grill, but be careful because you do need to remember the brown sugar. You can also use them, you can roast them in a cast iron pan, just pop it right in a low rim, pop it right in the oven. So while I give these a chance to start to grill up and get some griddle marks and bring it to temperature, I'm going to keep slicing my fresh radishes, get ready with the pomegranate seeds, and we're going to bring it all together in the next segment. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC7.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
Coming up, President Trump sending over 5,000 troops and a slew of military equipment to the southern border to stop a migrant caravan from Central America. Plus, the FBI warning people after they say they've uncovered a hit list of targets kept by a suspected serial bomber. And newly released video shows the moment chaos broke out at a North Carolina high school when a student was shot and killed.
You're watching ABC7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story at 12:30. President Trump sending thousands of new troops to the southern border. The government says they're being deployed to stop thousands of Central American migrants bound for the U.S. in several caravans. Jim Rowbottom reports.
The troops are gearing up and will be at the border by the end of the week.
We will deploy over 5,200 soldiers to the southwest border. That's in addition to the 2,092 that are already employed from our National Guard, Operation Guardian Support.
The nearest migrants, traveling by foot, are about 900 miles away. They're weeks away from arriving at the border, where many reportedly plan to seek asylum. The commander-in-chief has a message for them, with Trump tweeting, "Many gang members and some very bad people are mixed into the caravan heading to our southern border. Please go back. You will not be admitted into the United States unless you go through the legal process. This is an invasion of our country, and our military is waiting for you." Vice President Mike Pence echoing that sentiment.
Our message to people in the caravan is simple. Turn around. You will not be allowed to come into the United States of America illegally. We will not allow it.
Critics claim Trump is creating a crisis around the migrants for political gain, to stoke fears and gain votes for Republicans in the midterm elections just days away. And far from invading, the migrants would be following the law by claiming asylum if they reach the border. Meanwhile, the White House press secretary says his motives are pure.
The president's #1 job and #1 priority is to protect the safety and security of Americans, and he's going to do what he deems necessary in order to do that.
A defense official says the new operation is expected to run from November 5th through December 15th. I'm Jim Rowbottom reporting.
If you're born in the United States, you're automatically a citizen. That's the most basic fact of American citizenship law. But President Trump said in an interview that he plans to sign an executive order that would end birthright citizenship for children of non-citizens and unauthorized immigrants born on U.S. soil. It's not clear if the president has the authority to strip citizenship to those born in the U.S. with an executive order, but the move would likely spark a legal battle over executive authority, potentially ending at the Supreme Court. The president giving no other details or timeline for the plan. Now to disturbing new developments in the serial bomb case as the suspect makes his first appearance in court. Another package was found in the mail. Authorities revealing Cesar Sayoc had a long list of names and addresses said to be potential targets. The names include politicians, media figures, and celebrities. The FBI now notifying everyone on that list, including an editor at the New York Times. The latest suspicious package discovered yesterday addressed to CNN headquarters in Atlanta. Authorities say the package is similar to the bombs mailed across the country last week.
Each device consisted of roughly 6 inches of PVC pipe, a small clock, a battery, some wiring, and what is known as energetic material. Though we're still analyzing the devices in our laboratory, these are not hoax devices.
Sayak will appear in federal court in Miami again on Friday for a pretrial detention hearing to discuss moving him to New York, where the case will ultimately be prosecuted. A North Carolina mother is facing charges in the drowning death of her 1-year-old son. Police say 20-year-old Daisha Lee drove around a barricaded road during flooding from Hurricane Florence. Her son Caden was swept away in the floodwaters. Lee's now facing several charges, including involuntary manslaughter. She's due in court in November. It's been almost 3 weeks now since Hurricane Michael made landfall, and lawmakers are asking federal officials to bring recreational vehicles and mobile homes to the Florida Panhandle to help residents who lost their homes. Senators Marco Rubio and Bill Nelson of Florida said in a letter to FEMA that the alternative housing must be deployed immediately to the Panhandle to alleviate suffering there. They were joined in their request by 3 U.S. congressmen who represent the Florida Panhandle. Meteorologist John Scalzi joins us now with more on our weather today. A little bit warmer, I guess, on the Sun Coast. You said there's more humidity in the air.
A little bit. We had some fog alerts around this morning for inland areas and to our north. And we also had some reduced visibilities even locally here on the Sun Coast. So, yeah, a little bit more humidity around, and I think you can kind of feel it as you walk around outside. Yeah. But over the weekend, maybe we'll be able to drop those dew points back again as we get another front through here. So that's, keep your fingers crossed. I hope so. It was so nice last weekend. Taking a look at the Lakewood Ranch webcam put into motion. Well, it's not a whole lot of motion to see out there. A few fair weather clouds dot the landscape, but they're few and far between, and certainly not going to produce any rainfall today. Satellite view shows that there are no real large-scale cloud patterns across our region. We did have a little line of clouds just moving off the screen now on the Atlantic side, and that is the frontal boundary. It's hardly a frontal boundary, actually. There's no cold air behind it or anything, but it did set up a boundary, a wind boundary, and it's kind of meandering now through the Florida Keys, but it's not producing any rainfall. Now, across our region today, plenty of sunshine in store for us, and Titan radar dry as a bone out there. In fact, that's the way it'll be for today. It's the way it's going to be tomorrow, too, for trick-or-treaters. Should not be much of an issue whatsoever. Daytime highs today, slightly warmer, probably coming in around 84 or so, 83 by 3 p.m., and then tapering off as we head into the evening hours with an overnight temperature in the 60s once again. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
Thank you, John. Video footage has been released showing the terrifying moment gunfire erupted at a high school in North Carolina yesterday, killing 1 student before class. Students were sent running for their lives when gunshots were heard as a fight broke out in the hallway, all before the first class started. A friend of the victim says he watched as an argument with another student escalated into a physical altercation.
Teacher was like, get in the classroom, get in the classroom. So first thing I did, I went in the classroom.
As he was walking away, he was sadly shot in the back. And then I saw the gun and I had to run.
The victim, 16-year-old Bobby McKeithen, was rushed to the hospital where he later died. The suspect, a 16-year-old freshman, surrendering in a classroom and is now charged with first-degree murder. Police say that conflict between the 16-year-olds had been brewing for weeks. We're just a day shy now of Halloween and trick-or-treaters, and as you prepare your children for the holiday, local law enforcement will doing their part to keep families safe. ABC7's Marla Spence joins us now in the studio with a look at what the Manatee County Sheriff's Office will be doing. Marla?
Well, Scott, it'll be all hands on deck for law enforcement this Halloween. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office will be working to ensure safety of kids and families this holiday. Now, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, their spokesperson there, Randy Warren, says luckily in years past, there hasn't been any big issues or high amount of crimes associated or on Halloween. Warren says although that there hasn't, the Sheriff's Office is still taking not taking any chances. Warren says there will be sheriff deputies keeping a close eye on roads for those going to Halloween parties who may have had too much to drink. He also says deputies will be working to keep trick-or-treaters safe from sexual offenders within the county.
In an effort to make it a safer Halloween for everybody, we have deputies that are knocking on doors. We're going to the doors of the known sexual offenders who are registered in Manatee County. Those that are on probation, and they all have different cases. We walk up to the door, we make contact with them, and we're reminding them, we don't want to see Halloween decorations here on your house or you sitting on your front porch. This is a direct violation of their probation.
And Warren says registered sex offenders found violating parole by luring trick-or-treaters with candy or peeling yard decor will be arrested. Parents can avoid knocking on doors they shouldn't be by downloading the Sheriff's Office app. And in that app, it'll have a breakdown where all those registered sexual offenders live. Scott?
All right, Marla, thank you so much. Well, lunch is really coming together. Let's get back to the kitchen and Chef Judy. Interrupt you. We can't hear you, so we're going to go to a break and we'll be right back.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
According to Golf Digest, 2 of the nation's top golf resorts are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, the Auburn Opelika Marriott at Grand National, and the Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa in Birmingham. Plus, the Marriott at Grand National was recognized as Hotel of the Year by Marriott International. Experience luxury and world-class golf Southern style. Visit rtjgolf/resorts or call 800-949-4444 to book your trip to the trail.
I was so congested, and neti pots, drugs, and nasal sprays were just not doing the job. I was sure nothing would work until I tried the My Pure Mist-Free Steam Inhaler. My doctor told me that steam is a really effective natural decongestant. With my little personal spa, I am free to breathe. It's the only cordless and the only ultra-pure steam inhaler. If allergies or sinus congestion is holding you back, you need to try the My Pure Mist-Free.
Get the cordless My Pure Mist at Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, Walgreens, or Amazon.
Support the Hurricane Michael Relief and Disaster Fund by donating to the United Way of Northwest Florida today. Help communities rise and rebuild after the devastating mess left behind. Every donation makes a difference and is appreciated. Together, we are all Panhandle strong.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Current air temperature is 79 degrees. We have a dew point value of 66, starting to creep up there, about 10 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago. Plenty of sunshine, but a few fair weather clouds as well. We'll probably see a few more clouds again tomorrow as the dew point values start to climb up to pretty close to the 70-degree mark as we head into tomorrow afternoon. So it looks like it's going to be a humid trick-or-treat, but at least be rain-free. We're looking at a temperature of 83 degrees by 3 p.m. today. As I mentioned, plenty of sunshine around, and that carries us into the evening hours as well. Don't expect to see rainfall this evening, but the temperatures will stay elevated just a little bit because of the extra amount of moisture that's in the air. Across the nation, things are very quiet. Boy, what a difference a day makes. Huh? We're looking at hardly an area of disturbed weather across the entire nation. One little area of cloudiness and some showers back to the west associated with a cold front that's starting to take shape and sink southward. That's what's going to bring us our rainfall on Friday. Across our region right now, the scanning radar not picking up a drop of rain anywhere, nor will it today or tomorrow. The reason is that high-pressure ridge that sits there and provides us with our fair weather skies. We have a general easterly wind, northeasterly wind to start off the morning, now an easterly wind. It's been fairly light. That clear sky and light winds and the extra little moisture in the air allowed for that fog to form overnight, and some of it was kind of thick. Tomorrow morning we also have a chance, I think, of seeing some fog build, especially in inland areas. Some of the visibilities could be down to a half a mile or so. There's our stalled frontal boundary. That's in the process of washing away. And back to the west, we have this frontal boundary that's in the process of advancing toward us. And it's going to gather moisture by the return flow of a southeasterly wind flow around this area of high pressure. It's going to push that moisture up and make for a very unstable air mass across parts of the deep south. As the front advances, it's going to want to lift that air, creating a line of showers and thunderstorms, some of which could become severe over the next day or two in parts of the deep south, particularly in areas of Mississippi or Alabama or parts of Florida, northern Florida Gulf Coast. There could see some, well, briefly some tornadoes. There's a possibility of that, but most particularly some gusty winds, some hail, strong stuff in that part of the country, probably as early as Thursday. And then that front will advance into our area. Right now, I'm not predicting any severe weather as that front approaches, but we'll keep an eye on it and let you know how that develops. Sunny skies today, though, higher humidity, and then rains on Friday. Maybe a thunderstorm or two as well. Mostly in the second half of the day, it looks like, then clearing up during the overnight. Futurecast shows some pretty quiet conditions here today. Maybe a few scattered showers down in the very southern tip of the state tomorrow. And then we'll watch on Thursday as the winds begin to shift and we start to see more of a southeasterly wind causing the showers to lift north from parts of the southern tip of the state. And that'll be on Thursday, and then on Friday they'll come at us from the Gulf waters as the front begins to form back to the west and advance in this direction. So north wind comes in at about 10 today, shifting to the northeast to east during the overnight, getting a little breezy during the overnight. 2-foot seas, light chop on bay and inland waters. And the forecast shapes up like this: 84 degrees today, tomorrow about 85, and for Thanksgiving, or not Thanksgiving, for Halloween, it looks like it's going to be just fine, just a little bit more humid, but still very pleasant conditions. And then on Friday, we'll see the front move through. It'll bring us about a 70% chance of showers or thunderstorms, and as we head into the weekend, cool down will occur, a little bit of a one, and certainly some drier air will move in. And don't forget, clocks go back on Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Scott?
Thank you, John. In consumer news today, Apple says it's investigating allegations its watches were made illegally by Chinese high school students. The investigation is in response to a report published by a Hong Kong labor rights group. That group found that Apple supplier Quanta Computer hired vocational high school students to work as interns at a factory in China. Now, that's not illegal, but what is illegal is if the students were put in jobs that are unrelated to what they're studying, and if they were required to work excessive overtime or put on overnight shifts. Now, Apple says it will cooperate with the investigation and will take swift action if violations are discovered. Finding what you want for the holidays could be a little easier at Walmart this year. Starting on Thursday, Walmart shoppers will be able to skip the checkout entirely in some of the busiest sections of its stores. The Walmart will have employees right there who can take credit card payments on mobile scanners and then send shoppers on their way. Walmart also says in the next couple of weeks, its app will be able to guide shoppers right to specific items in its stores. Reese's is letting some people trade in their unwanted Halloween candy for peanut butter cups. Starting tomorrow afternoon in New York City, a Reese's candy converter will be set up on Fifth Avenue. The machine will take all that unwanted candy and then swap it for Reese's peanut butter cups. The company says the machine will exchange up to 10,000 cups for 5 hours. All right, The microphone is now working. So back to Judy in the kitchen.
Thanks there, Scott. So I just took the sweet potatoes out of the oven, and they have that delicious curry, Moroccan and Malaysian flavors all coming together. So we'll just take the planks and we'll just, whoops, lost one. We'll just kind of put them on either side, and you can just see the pork chops are just so juicy. Cook to a medium temperature. Be careful not to overcook them. My mom used to always cook pork chops well done. Don't do that. It really, you want that moisture and deliciousness. So you're going to take whole milk. You need the fat for this Greek yogurt. And we're going to make a sauce. They have salt and pepper in it. I'm going to add just a little olive oil just to cut it just a little bit. Give it some smoothness as well. And then we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And usually if you hold your hand like that, you can catch those seeds as you're going. So I got a little bit more to go. And then basically we're going to take this sauce, just a sprinkle of curry powder on top, because we have all those great aromatics that have cooked in with the pork chops. So we just want to kind of remind our flavor palette that we're doing this. So let's take that lemony Greek yogurt and just kind of put it over there on the pork chops. And I always set another bowl on the table because you're definitely going to want to have some extra sauce. And we're just going to scatter some organic radishes. And here comes the fun of fresh pomegranate seeds. I really think it's worth spending the extra money. It's going to cost you about $1 more to get the pomegranate seeds already right in the container, exactly a cup, because that juice does stain, and it's almost impossible to get out of your laundry. So this might be a much easier way. So we'll take a little taste in a few minutes with John Scalzi, and there you have, you can make plans for your dinner tonight.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Outback is an IIHS top safety pick for 10 years running. Lease a new Subaru Outback today for just $249 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Get local news and information from the team you trust. Like ABC7 WWSB on Facebook to stay connected to the Suncoast.
This is quite tasty, Judy.
Thank you. Well, I know you like pork chops, and this time of year we're using things with apples and things like that, but I think bringing in some of the curry seasoning works really well. And I found the tip online about adding the pomegranate seeds, and I think it just gives it a nice fall dimension to it.
It does. I love those sweet potatoes too.
Thank you. Nice plank, same seasoning that we do with the pork chops. You can just jar it up and have it in your cupboard.
Well, it's great, and it tastes really wonderful as you get into kind of the cooler weather as well.
Exactly, exactly. You can find the recipe by going on mysuncoast.com and click on the Suncoast View, and you'll be able to find that recipe for you. So enjoy your pork chop, buddy.
Thanks very much, Judy.
Thank
Scott,
you.
come on over.
Okay.
Joy.
Thank you both. In entertainment news, Hilary Duff is celebrating the birth of her daughter. The 31-year-old actress and singer and her boyfriend, Matthew Coma, announced the news yesterday on Instagram. Banks' Violet Bear was born last Thursday. Duff wrote on Instagram, "This little bit has fully stolen our hearts." Duff has a son from a previous marriage as well. Weird Al Yankovic is hitting the road again. The master of musical parody is set to announce dates for his 2019 tour. Weird Al and his band will be joined by a full symphony orchestra, so of course he's calling it the Strings Attached Tour. He also says he plans to bring back all the costumes, props, and big video screen for his most full-blown, over-the-top extravaganza ever. Tickets go on sale November 16th. The Emmy Award-winning actor who played Mr. Feeney on the hit show Boy Meets World thwarted an attempted burglary at his California home over the weekend. William Daniels and his wife were home Saturday night when someone tried to kick in the back door. Daniels, who is now 91 years old, jumped up, turned on the lights, and scared off the intruder. Police believe the attempted burglary was a random act and not tied to a recent string of celebrity break-ins in that area.
Wow. Were you threatening him with detention?
It may be. Maybe that was it.
I saved you some pork chop, by the way.
Are you sure?
a little
No,
bit.
I did. I got one stashed in the corner just in case for you, buddy.
Thank you so much, and as you say, this is a nice meal for the cooler weather
That's right.
Yeah.
sort of now here.
And we're going to get a little bit of cooler
Yeah.
weather this week. And a taste, it's not going to be a real big cool down.
At least it's not
a big
90
cold front,
outside.
so-
That's what I like,
exactly right.
you know?
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Plus the grass is growing a little slower now.
It is.
So you don't have to
like
mow
that.
it quite as
Yeah,
often, which is
I
nice.
just say bring on the boots and sweater weather.
Thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you back at 4 o'clock. Until then, have a great day, everyone.